Good day to all. This will be our discussions involving our Chapter 6, Business Networks and Telecommunications. Now, for this particular chapter, we are going to divide it as usual into two parts. And for the first part, we'll have the following objectives and outcomes. So we describe business and home applications of digital telecommunications. Then next is identify the major media and devices used in telecommunications. For the first two, it's going to be identification and description of these applications and media and devices. Next would be about the protocols and rules or standards that we follow in the technological world or landscape. Then compare and contrast, meaning we're going to check the similarities and then cite the differences of various networking and internet services. After of which we should list networking technologies and trends that are likely to have an impact on businesses and IM or information management in the near future. Then discuss the pros, meaning advantages and cons, disadvantages of telecommuting. So telecommunications basically would help us in the transmittal of data and information from one point to another. From the prefix tele, which means distance, tele or telos. This allows communications over large distances. We can make use of telephone, email, and the web to do that. By this, the advantage normally would be easy and fast transfer and transmittal of information so that everyone can easily be updated and everybody can make fast and quick decision making. Networking technologies also have brought about several improvements to the business processes, as what I've said a while ago. Then here are some improvements made possible by telecommunications. One is better business communication. Again, there will be ways of commuting and normally multiple ways, not just limited by before, in which for large or big distances, we just have to do the mailing and would take much time, or even before that, the telegram. But now we have our social networking media apps, and we have the messenger, for example, we have Skype, Vibers, and the likes. Then we can do also the email, and in fact, there is free storage, for example, for Google Drive. And we can also send voice messages, faxing, file transfer, mobile telephony, and teleconferencing, which is something that is very dramatic that happened, especially in the pandemic times wherein we use Zoom, Google Meet, Discord, I heard, for the others, and the likes. Greater efficiency because we can deliver information immediately with the least amount of cost possible. In fact, it is for free. It is not constrained by geographical distance. Next is better distribution of data. So central storage can have both local and even the remote or not so available access. Another one is instant transactions using the web and wireless technologies. So we can check information online, we can order, for example, goods online, and we can also pay online. That's a good thing, especially nowadays to do business. We have flexible and mobile workforce, telecommuting and wireless connectivity for the remote workers. And we also have alternative channels like voice, radio, television, now available via the web also. So we can actually use our televisions to also access the net. And network security, though, is a challenge. That's the thing. If we are going to expose ourselves to online environments, certain information are there, and we have to protect and secure such information to prevent unauthorized access. Then we use the following for telecommunications in daily use. We have the cellular phones, we do the video conferencing, wireless payments and warehousing. Then we share the files from one person to another or peer-to-peer. And we do commerce or the buy and sell of products, meaning the trade on web or via web. Cellular phones, well, this is something that everyone is very knowledgeable. It's like, if not 100%, but almost close to that, has cell phone and wants to have cell phone. So as for me, the benefits would be for easy communication, and also so that we can access the net and we can also access the social media and message for free via Messenger, for example. Now, name is derived from areas of service, which are called cells, and each cell has a computerized transceiver that would transmit and receive signal. Hence, the term transceiver, combination of transmit and receive. Then, almost anywhere we can transmit and receive calls. Other capabilities, as said, would be email and faxing, GPS, or global positioning system wherein we can know our location. Digital cameras, we know that. The advantage is it is mobile or portable. We can bring it anywhere. Video conferencing is doing the conference through online, and images and our voices can be transferred or transmitted from one area to another. This brings together conference rooms that are thousands of miles apart, and no need to let people be in a venue, although we cannot really replace the face-to-face that's needed. But for items wherein such can be done, like not very serious, so I would say video conferencing is okay or fine. Produces savings in multiple areas, including travel, because we don't have to spend anymore for the travel, lodging, transportation, and also the time to do the above three. We can also do wireless payments. That's a good thing. We do mobile banking or online banking and the likes. We can also do warehousing in that sense. There is a mention of RFID, which stands for radio frequency identification, wherein we can determine information about something through that. It's like also the barcode. Enables rapid transactions and payments. Example, used at gas stations for payment at pump, used in vehicles for automatic road toll payment. So there's that chip, the RFID chip that is installed when you pass by a certain, let's just say, toll post, then automatically it will update the system. Then used to track and locate items even in the warehouse. So that's going to be easy because you just have the RFID to do that, the chips that are installed to the products. Next is P2P file sharing. Well, we can know this, especially one example would be the Share It that I've noticed a lot of people and users for cell phones are using them. Most especially that if we are going to use, let's say, Messenger for sharing of files, photos quality can be disrupted. But with recent updates of Messenger, lesser impact on the pictures, because the common comment before for Messenger sharing is that the pictures normally would become pixelated. So that's the thing. But with, of course, today's technology, we have a lot of application. These four, I would say one that I've known is LimeWire, but I don't hear people using that anymore or further. Used extensively to download music and video files. And yeah, it's true. Often in violation of copyright laws because they are shared in an authorized manner. Now, we can also do business in the web. We call that the e-commerce. Increasingly fast communication allows organizations and individuals to do the following: conduct business for commerce purposes, research, market, educate, and train, and shop, purchase, and pay. Then this is very helpful for organizations that are really doing the business in the online environment or by the web, online exchanges and auctions. Now, in online world, there would be bandwidth and media, so the capacity of technology to do the processing of data in an online environment. So professionals should understand technology concepts to participate in decision making and in order to select networking equipment and services, since normally the professionals are the users of such technology. Now, the section covers communications media, as said, bandwidth and networking media. Bandwidth is the speed at which data is communicated. So that's the transmission rate or bit rate. In fact, this is what is normally asked, like, what's the bandwidth of this particular plan of a certain network, for example. The unit of measure for bandwidth is bits per second. So we have to take note of that. Baseband, these are terminologies, by the way, so we don't have to really memorize, simply have to know them. Baseband is the medium for communications that can carry only one transmission at a time. But if we can do it multiple transmissions simultaneously, even at the same time, then broadband. So that's why we have, for example, smart broadband, low broadband, and even our pocket Wi-Fi, for example. Now, the measurement units for transmission speed, as said a while ago, is BPS. That's a common one. But normally now we will be asking, is it Mbps or Gbps, something like that. And as we update more and more to the modern world, before we just heard like kbps, now we are hearing mbps and gps. So we will never know if we will go to tera bps. Media would be several types of communications. Media would be tangible, which are having the physical aspects, and intangible, not having physical substance. For the media would be the cables and fibers. Twisted, coaxial, and optical. Intangible would be the microwave radio technology. So with the use of the signals. Now for twisted pair cable, these are basically insulated copper wires which are twisted together, hence the term twisted. This reduces EMI, electromagnetic interference, so somehow technological. This is flexible, reliable, and low cost, and connects devices with that particular plug. Coaxial, in other words, would be for cable television transmission, and it is used for internet connections via cable. Optical uses light, from the word optics or optical, not susceptible to interference and can carry signals for long distances because it's now fiber, not just based on the cable. Now, RF technologies would use radio waves to carry bits. Example would be Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So radio waves are being utilized. If we talk about high frequency, then that becomes microwaves with high accuracy over long distances. However, for outside transmission, we have to take note that weather conditions may degrade the quality. We can just notice that normally during heavy rains and downpour of rains and even storms, our signals would be affected. Microwave signals can be transmitted by satellite links. Also, electrical power lines, in which electrical power grid can be used also for telecommunication. Another one is BPL or PLC, broadband over power, or power line communications. We'll be using power lines. When choosing a network media, we have to take note of availability, current and potential bandwidth. So the speed of transmission of data or information from one point to another, vulnerability to electromagnetic interference, and or radio frequency interference. So here are our medium or media for networking and availability. We can just see that microwave is low, but the bandwidth is high and the vulnerability is low. And normally if low availability, we expect that the cost would be high, which is not seen here. Networks would be a combination of devices or nodes. The devices are the nodes connected through a communication media. Like, for example, we have the internet connection, the Wi-Fi that connects a lot of devices, our cell phones, our tabs, for example, our laptops and personal computers. Any compatible device that can transmit and receive on a network can be part of a network. So network is a combination of devices. Then computer networks are classified by reach and complexity. Three basic types would be L, M, and W. L would be local, M would be metropolitan, is it here? And then W would be the wide. Okay, it's there. A local area network established by a single organization and shared among employees. So it is just within the business. Server-based would be single computer controls the network, but if no central device controls, that's peer-to-peer. Wireless offer advantages, easier installation, more scalable, I would say also. We don't have to really set that up. And of course, we can easily install it. When I say we don't have to set that up much, because we don't have like physical cables that would connect one network to another, or the devices to connect to the network. More flexible also, equipment is easily moved. Scalability is ease of expanding a system. You can really expand it easily. The drawback would be it's less secure. well, we do have the passwords, but if somebody can know the password, then the network is no longer secure. Now, for large cities and local area networks are linked or connected, then we call that the metropolitan area network. The medium would be fiber optic or wireless broadband connections. On another hand, if we talk about far-reaching system of networks composed of a lot of LANs or MANs, would be the wide area network or WAN, and can be public or private. Another one would be VANs or value added, in which networks with enhanced services offered by outside vendors. And the advantage should be reliability management and maintenance of networks for an organization by the outside service provider. ISPs or internet service providers would be the preferred method of conducting e-commerce. And this is less costly than VAN. So there are networks offering that. Personal area network is a wireless network designed for handheld and portable devices. Can be used by one or two people, but the transmission speed or bandwidth is lower, and maximum distance is about 10 meters, just like our pocket Wi-Fi's. Then hardware or the physical components will be part, of course, of the networks. We cannot just have the Wi-Fi or the intangible component or the radio waves, for example. We also have the physical, like the network interface card that connects a device to a hub, switch, bridge, or router, and in turn connects to a LAN or WAN. Hub would be the central location to connect devices. Switch is a hub that sends communications only to designated devices on the network. So that is something that is also technological, and we don't have to really memorize that or about such. Then another one would be the bridge. Of course, you know what bridge is even in layman language, but it connects two networks. Router would be the one that would direct one data packet to the next node on the path to the final destination. Repeater would amplify or would strengthen or regenerate signals. Modem, which stands for modulator demodulator, translates communication signals from analog to digital and vice versa, from machine to digital language and back and forth. Dial-up connection is a slower type of connection, no faster than 56 kilobits per second. Then, or kilobytes could be. Then virtual private network, VPN, can be an alternative to creating an LAN. So it does not require leasing of lines, no need for renting of the lines because it is virtual. Utilizes the internet, a public network, to simulate a private network that only authorized users can access. So we have the internet, but to be able to access that VPN, certain authentication items will be asked about username and password, for example. Enables the use of intranet, internal network in the business, and external network or extranets for authorized parties. Then to switch messages from one area to another, we can do the following: circuit switching or packet switching. For circuit switching, this is a dedicated channel circuit that is established for the duration of the transmission. And packet switching is that would message broken into packets. So packets are basically groups of bits transmitted together. If packets are transmitted independently and may be routed or routed to different paths, packet numbers are used to reassemble the packets at the destination. So these are the additional information about that. Another one would be frame relay. So basically the relay, the transfer of information. This is a high-speed packet switching protocol, meaning rules about technology used in wide area networks. Variable size packets routed quickly. So if they're of different sizes, then we can do the routing. Circuit switching is ideal for real-time communications when no delay is desired. But packet switching is more efficient but introduces some delay. And that's why we have the multiple or the multi-protocol label switching that uses all packets, but all packets are routed on the same path used for VoIP. So that's the internet protocol. And this is our switching techniques. This is a packet containing information, destination address, source address, packet number, data, and error detection bits. All right, so this is the end of our first part. Hopefully you got some information from here. Again, the terms are very technical, but at least we are learning. That's the important thing. And with that, see you in the next series for the videos involving networks and telecommunications. Thank you very much for listening.